Well, hello everyone. This is Wilson Cole, and most of you guys are going to know me from Adams, Evans, and Ross. And I don't want you to ever forget that that's what I do, because at the end of the day, I'm a collection guy. But over the last 27 years, we learned pretty quickly that to be the best collection source, we had to be pretty good at marketing and sales. So over the years, I've acquired companies that their main purpose has been to help elevate Adams, Evans, and Ross and BackdoorHires.com, their kind of positioning in the industry. And probably about 14, 15 years ago, I bought and created Recruiting and Staffing Solutions magazine, which is now Recruiting and Staffing Solutions Media, which has a marketing company and other aspects. And I think there's like 15 people over on that entire team with lead generation and SEO and magazine design and all of that good stuff. But the person that helps me head up and oversee that is none other than my youngest daughter, Allie Cole. And Allie is what we're going to start doing once a week is we're going to do this marketing segment that's going to kind of pull the curtains back behind so you can kind of see how we land clients. Just to kind of, and I'm not bragging to brag, or but just to kind of let you know that this stuff actually works, is we have 3,000 staffing and recruiting clients. And so by most estimates, we have about 25, 30% of the market here in the U.S. and to a lesser degree in the U.K. and in Canada. And so what we're going to do is we're going to share our marketing ideas with you guys on what we're working on this week and in the coming weeks. That way, as you see where we go through and do, if you see our marketing, it's like, you know what, Wilson and Allie told me they were going to be doing that. So one of the interesting reasons, and also just so you know, if you ever need SEO services, if you ever need branded magazine services, website services, or what have you, Recruiting and Staffing Solutions Media can certainly help you with that as well. And that's a conversation for another time. But what if you do have a question, you can reach out to Allie, ALLY, at eLock Global, which is our parent company.com. But what we're going to be working on the next few weeks, and it's kind of ironic that we're talking about video in this, but it is how much better conversion you get with video. Allie, kind of share some of the insight on the conversion rates that your research and your team have come back with.
Well, we've done a lot of research, and what we found was that video does have the highest level of conversion from what we've seen and from what we've seen online in our research. And this makes a lot of sense, because if you're scrolling through, you get hundreds of emails a day. All you do is read, and that gets really, really tiresome. So being able to go and watch a video and have someone explain it to you in an easier to process way can be super helpful. It can help to break through the noise, because everything with marketing is just getting through the noise of everybody else yelling about how great their product is. So to be able to come at it in a different way, in a different light, can really give you a huge competitive advantage.
It's interesting. Your grandfather, which you know as well as I do, is like 82 or 83 years old. He had something happen. I don't know if it was his TV, his washer, some appliance or something happened at the house. Our 82-year-old, my father, your grandfather, went out and YouTubed how to fix it. And he actually wound up having to buy a part. And guess what? He bought the part from the people that did the video on how to fix this particular problem, which I thought was a pretty ingenious thing. So if you have a solution to somebody's problem, doing a video on that pain it is probably a good way to get attention. So as far as on recruiters, one of the things that we run into is that with recruiters, they say, well, you know what, my candidates, they didn't do something right, or they showed up at the wrong time, and I feel like I'm always having to coach them. One thing that I would suggest is go get set up your own YouTube channel, but do a video on the 10 mistakes that people make in interviewing. How would you set that up? Does it have to be overly elaborate? Do you need lots of animations? What are the 5 or 4 trigger points that people want to have in video, or can it be something as simple as what we're doing, where we're using a Zoom meeting? I mean, what are some of the alternatives there?
I mean, I think it completely depends on what you're selling. If you're trying to show someone how to change a part on a washing machine, like the example you gave, you should probably be pretty hands-on and explaining this is exactly what we're doing. But if you're going over a lot of key phrases, if you're talking about a lot of technical jargon that can be very confusing, I would highly suggest having something, either using a PowerPoint or something like that in your video to help people follow, because that can be even more overwhelming if there's not a visual cue if you're using a lot of jargon. Or even if you just want to lead your followers more clearly, because some people are more visual learners. So even though as a video walking you through it, it might help to have some visual cues. But if that doesn't seem right for you, then don't use it.
And another interesting thing about video, and I want to point out to our clients, and I'm a firm believer, if I can increase your sales, we can increase your collections, because you're going to have a higher percentage. You're going to have about 0.5% going to collections, whether you're doing $1 million a year or $2 million a year. But so you heard this here first. So when you start surfing YouTube and all of a sudden you start seeing my smiling face or somebody from my team's smiling face, you heard it here first. The neat thing about videos is you can do what they call pre-rolling. So based on somebody's Google history or YouTube history, let's say they say changing jobs in the engineering field, or better interviews or things along those lines, you can technically have a 15-30-second commercial pre-roll on whatever they're watching, based on what their past history is. So you can kind of incorporate and be positioned as the expert. And that's something that I know Allie's going to cover later in additional ones, as far as on what you can do to pre-roll. But if somebody hasn't ever done video, and there's a lot of young folks out there, and young folks to me are pretty much anybody under 40. And then there's the rest of us that remember business before there was an internet. I guess the first thing is, somebody were going to do video, set up a YouTube channel, and that's fairly easy to do. And of course, that's something that we can set up for you as well. You can email Allie, but it's something very simple to set up. And now YouTube has it to where, like, you can even record directly to YouTube. You don't have to do a camera and then upload anything.
Absolutely. And then you can use those videos moving forward. They don't just have to sit stagnant on your YouTube. That would be great to have the YouTube channel up, but you can also link the YouTube channel in other ways. You can use that to market, because instead of sending out a super long sales email, you can go over the high points and then say, if you're still interested, this video will go more in depth. And so you can really use this in a lot of different ways. It's not just the one video that you're going to post on YouTube. It can be so much more.
So basically, once you do it once, you can utilize it for a multitude of different things. You can use it on your Facebook post. You can use it on your website.
Absolutely.
You can embed it in. So one video may actually give you 10 different marketing things that you can go for.
Absolutely.
Well, outstanding. Well, guys, this is our first edition of a weekly chat that I'm going to kind of pull back, and you can kind of see what we're doing here in the research that we've done. And so one thing I can tell you, over the next year, you're going to see a lot more video coming from Adams, Evans, and Ross and Backdoor Hires, because we want to help everybody get better educated. But also, we're drinking our own Kool-Aid. We know that the videos work, and we'll go from there. But hopefully you found this informative. You can, if you'd like, sign up subscribe to our YouTube channel below. That way you can always get updates on everything else that, is when new videos appear. Also, tell me in the comment section how you have used video, if you've used it, and kind of give us a learning curve on what you found works or didn't work for you guys. And so give us a comment there, subscribe to it. And if you'd like to work a little deeper with us, you can certainly reach out to Allie at elocglobal.com, which is a parent company of Adams, Evans, and Ross Recruiting and Staffing Solutions magazine. And just so everybody knows, as far as ELOC, it's no huge secret. It's a family-run business. ELOC is simply Cole spelled backwards. So, some high-end stuff there. Well, Allie, I appreciate you sharing your ideas on video, and we will connect next week, and we'll be talking about some of the other neat stuff that we're going to start rolling out here.
Talk to you next.
Okay.